life and legend of Wyatt Earp.
Yuma Prison in the 1880s was a notorious hole of misery. Convicts inside and prisoners being transported there desperately risked their lives to escape, and when they did, territorial authorities hired Apache renegades to track them down. The Apaches, however, did not capture. They killed to collect the reward money. This state of affairs was brought forcibly to the attention of Marshal Wyatt Earp.
You take one more step.
Now, you mustn't shoot our sheriff, man.
This is Tom Grover's wife, Earp. I guess I should arrest her, but for old time's sake, I think I'll just forget it.
Oh, that's good of you, John Bean. You framed my husband, and now you have the nerve to talk of old times.
Oh, if you'll excuse me, I guess I better get back to court. I think the jury's going to come in.
Can I get you some water or something?
No, thank you. I've got to get back over there and be with Tom.
Mrs. Grover, mind if I come along?
You can't help us now, Marshal Earp. I begged Tom to tell you about this whole rotten frame-up. But he said you were a federal officer and you couldn't do anything about a county matter.
Well, that's true. But I don't like frame-ups.
Mr. Grover, you will approach the bench. The jury has found you guilty. Mr. Grover, during the course of this trial, you have made various references to a frame-up. Now, the court would like to hear this evidence before sentence is passed.
Well, sir, in the first place, the prosecution's main witness, that old drifter, Pat Few, that whiskey sot was paid to come here and testify against me.
The court must have actual evidence, Mr. Grover. The jury believed Mr. Few. Unless you can prove your claim, his testimony must be accepted.
Tom, don't say anything more. They'll kill you.
Young woman, you will take a seat out there.
Mrs. Grover. Boys.
Mr. Grover, there are certain aspects of this trial with which the court is not completely satisfied. But in the absence of legal testimony supporting your charges, the court is helpless to intervene. The jury's verdict stands, and you are sentenced to 3 years in Yuma Prison. Mr. Bean, remove the prisoner. This court is adjourned.
Let's go, Grover. I'm sorry, Mrs. Grover.
Mrs. Grover, I've heard enough to think that you folks may be right. I'm going to have a talk with the judge, and then I'm going to see your husband.
Pat Few was driving Tom Grover's freight wagon from Contention City. Now, he testified that Grover ordered him to leave the freight wagon off the trail. That means that Tom was responsible when the wagon and its load of silver ore disappeared.
Well, Pat Few hasn't got the best of reputations, Your Honor.
I know, but the defense couldn't shake his story.
Did you know that Johnny Bean was personally involved in this?
Personally involved? What do you mean?
Well, Mrs. Grover was a dance hall girl and belonged to Bean. He and Tom Grover fell out when she chose Tom. I also seem to recall that Grover and he had some sort of a lawsuit in Prescott.
Grover didn't mention Bean during the trial.
Would you say anything against the sheriff if he had a good chance of going to Yuma Prison?
I've tried not to believe the stories those convicts tell about that prison.
Well, they happen to be true. Matter of fact, a lot of prisoners never reach Yuma. Well, I've wondered what happened to them for a long time. Maybe this is my chance to find out.
Hold on, Earp. I hope you don't take too much stock in what Beth Grover says.
No, not necessarily.
Well, I warned her not to marry that hot-headed fool. Ran his freight business right into the ground. Finally got down to one wagon, so he had to steal. Just simple as that.
Well, I have no jurisdiction in ore theft, Johnny. It's your case.
tried to have Ben investigated at Prescott to expose his connection with the 10% ring. I even appealed to the governor. Well, I'm sure it got back to the ring in Tucson, and they ordered Ben to frame me.
Well, that ties it up, Mr. Grover. Look, I don't want Ben to catch me talking to you. I'll send a very important message to you by your wife.
Oh, Marshal. Thanks for anything you can do.
Who is it?
Wyatt Earp.
Thank you.
You saw the judge, Tom?
Yes. There's nothing the judge can do unless there's legal evidence. But there's a lot your husband can do.
Leg irons with an armed guard. I've heard how they let prisoners escape and then pay renegade Indians to track them down and kill them.
Well, everybody has heard those stories, Mrs. Grover. But we have to try and prove it.
How?
The prison wagon will be here tonight to take Mr. Grover and 2 other prisoners through the desert to Benson. They'll be put on a train there for the trip to Yuma Prison. I'll be following that wagon.
Following the wagon is one thing. How will that help Tom?
Sheriff Bean will let you talk to your husband before he leaves. You warn him not to try to escape. You understand? It's very important that he stay with the wagon.
I think I see. But shouldn't you take a posse or at least a couple of deputies?
No, they won't bother him on the desert as long as he doesn't try to escape. They'll have to wait until they get him to Yuma Prison. Now remember, it's very important that he doesn't try to escape.
Ready for you, Sheriff. How many this time?
3.
3 hobbles, Dugan.
All right. All right, come on. Better watch this one. He doesn't think he should go to Yuma.
Oh, Yuma ain't so bad.
Hey, Bucko, I heard preachers tell about a worse place.
It's an old joke, Dugan, but it still tickles me.
You know, Grover, it's too bad Beth couldn't be here to say goodbye to you, but don't you worry. I'll take real good care of her.
All right, hold it. Easy, Sheriff. You can't shoot a prisoner.
Well, at least not in front of your own jail.
Dugan, you're a card.
Get those 2 in the wagon. Get the leg irons on. Move up. And keep your eye on this one. He'll escape the first chance he gets.
Don't worry about him, Sheriff. Take him away.
All right, move.
Trip to Yuma?
Say so?
I said, is this your first trip to Yuma?
Yeah.
Me and Baxter already been there once.
Yeah, and we ain't going back.
Not so loud, Baxter.
I want him to hear it. Hey, guard. Guard! Shut up in there. You make me. We ain't going back to Yuma.
Shut up, you fool.
We ain't going back, you hear me? We ain't going back to that hole. We ain't gonna go back. No, we ain't.
Baxter, we ought to take him back just out of cussedness.
Yep. Though we got orders.
They still think they can beat the desert and the Apaches?
Well, it's better than dying in solitary with your ribs kicked in. That's the way I feel about it, Bucko. When we let him escape, we're doing a good deed. Yeah, a good deed.
took me out of a bad dream. It was in that rock quarry in Yuma, and 5 guards was... What was they hit me with?
Keep your voice down.
What's bothering you?
I don't want you and Baxter to try to escape.
You've been hearing some of those ghost stories.
No, it's the truth, Moody.
Ah, just talk spread around Yuma to scare the convicts.
Oh. What is it? What are we stopping?
I don't know.
I'd cut out the talking and wiggle out of that wagon.
What for?
Because Dugan and me want to eat and take a nap. Get over there. Don't get any ideas about running off now.
Just take a good look at that desert.
15 miles to water in any direction. Sun up's at 5:30. Heat comes to 120 degrees in an hour. And the sun will fry your brains out. And the Apache's tracking you, he'll tear the top of your head off along with your scalp. So, that's about all there is to it. Now, drink all you want out of the water hole, but there ain't nothing for you to eat.
All right, come on, Bucko, I'm hungry. Quit fretting about them escaping. They got sense.
And don't get any ideas about grabbing the canteens or the horses either.
All right, go ahead, get your water.
He's asleep. I'll get the horses, huh? Forget the horses. Drink all the water you can. Don't you understand? They want us to escape. Come with us to stay. We don't care. But I hate to see you turn yourselves into buzzard pigs. You ain't coming? Nah, he thinks he's gonna like it in Yuma. Come on, let's go. Out of the way.
I've got something else to tell you. That John Law friend of mine is on his way here to help us.
Yeah, sure.
Take off.
Bucko, look at this. The others ran away, but he stayed.
What's the idea, Grover?
I don't want to be murdered by your Apaches.
He's got to be took care of.
He's the one the boss wants took care of in particular.
Why don't you give me a gun? Then you can say I tried to escape.
Too risky.
Start running.
No.
Guess I'll have to plug him in the side. That'll be good enough.
Yeah.
Lift him.
Take their guns. Any sign of Apaches?
I guess they're tracking Baxter and Moody. They ran off.
Ain't got no right shooting a prison guard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're officers of the law, same as you.
Just one small difference. I don't go around shooting prisoners.
Mr. Earp, if we hurried, we might be able to save Baxter and Moody.
I'll let them roam around out there for a while. The Apaches don't start track until after they talk to the guards.
You mean they're coming here?
That's right. You any good with a rifle?
Fair.
When they do get here, you aim at their legs. I want those Indians alive. Patch up that prison guard and put them in irons. Throw him down.
Well, Mr. Earp, I guess I'll reach Yuma prison alive.
No, I sort of promised your wife you wouldn't go there.
The what? I don't understand. You don't have any jurisdiction in my case.
I do now. Those Indians are wards of the federal government. United States Deputy Marshal, I can now investigate the plan to murder you.
But will they talk?
Maybe. Maybe not. But Pat Pugh may decide to tell Judge Spicer why he perjured himself.
Now, why would he do that?
Mr. Grover, I want you to drive that wagon to Bubble and Squeak. You know where it is?
Yeah, the big spring at the base of Mustang Mountain Trail.
That's right. You wait there in the shade for me. Here, pin this on. I'm deputizing you. You have any idea where I can find that real good friend of yours, Pat Pugh?
Well, he drives the freight wagon for Arizona Transport. That's Behan's company, you know.
No, I didn't know. Behan's got his hand in everything, hasn't he? Well, I'll bring Pat. See you there by dark.
Well, Marshal, whatever happens with Pat Pugh is fine with me. But I still don't think we should leave Baxter and Moody out there. Perhaps they deserve to die, but not that way.
Well, Pat and I will track him. I'll see you at Bubble and Squeak. This is the Arizona Transport Company, isn't it?
Yeah?
I'm looking for one of your drivers, a fellow by the name of Pat Pugh.
Well, what do you want with Pat?
Well, Tom Grover, the man that he testified against last week in Tombstone, escaped. Sheriff Behan sent me to warn Mr. Pugh and to guard him.
Oh, Grover escaped, did he?
That's right.
That's bad. That's awful bad. You think he'll be after old Pat?
Might be. Know where I can find him?
Well, you're lucky. He's about 15 minutes down the trail towards Contention City.
Fine. Thank you very much. Much obliged. You're coming with me, Mr. Pugh.
Well, what have I done? You can't arrest me, Earp.
You're going to be my witness in a federal case. Now get down and unhitch one of those horses and climb aboard.
Well, all right.
No water. You make the rest of the trek on foot.
You think I'm going out there in that desert with Grover and two escaped convicts out there?
You let the horses drink, not you. Bring your animal up here. Come on, Candy.
I can rest a minute.
You can't do that. Here. Take a look over there. You see that? Huh?
Nothing but sand.
It's a sandstorm. Come on, we gotta try and make those rocks move. Come on.
Don't leave me. I'll make it right. I'll tell the judge. Come back! I didn't mean to lie. So help me, I didn't. They said they'd kill me. I'll tell the judge.
Pat Few has confessed to perjury and been sentenced to 9 months in jail. Mr. Grover, you are a free man. Order in the court. Now, the court must advise you to use every precaution to avoid repetition of this kind of thing.
They'll try to frame me again, sir, so we've decided to leave Arizona.
We're going back to Nebraska, Your Honor.
I see. This court is adjourned.
Once again, Marshal, our sincerest thanks.
Too bad Mr. Few wouldn't admit to being paid for perjuring himself.
He'd been killed if he did.
I suppose he would. It's a sad state of affairs. How are you going to make out with the Indians and those 2 guards?
Well, I'm taking them to the federal court, Benson. They're going to try and lie out of it, of course, but I think I can persuade the governor to investigate that warden in Yuma, put a stop to the use of Indian trackers. I'm convinced that they let the prisoners escape, so the Indian trackers could kill them, and the guards would split the reward money with them.
It's rather discouraging, isn't it?
Well, the law moves slowly, Judge. You know that.
An inch one day, 2 the next.
Just as long as we keep it moving.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.